Today, let's talk about internal controls. This is not the most exciting topic, but if you want to move up in accounting, finance, internal audit, you really need to understand the internal controls. I believe most people think that only controllers or auditors design the internal controls, but I have done it too, and I believe you contributed to internal controls as well. Let's break it down using the real life example. I'll use the AP. Segregation of duties is the backbone in internal control. What it means that no single person should be able to commit or conceal a mistake or a fraud. There are 4 different duties that must be separated, and that's custody of assets, authorization of transaction, recording transaction, and reconciling the records. So let's think through that. For example, if one person has to commit a fraud, they must collide with another one who are dealing with, for example, reconciling the record or recording the transaction. It will be way harder to make that friendship and agree on that fraud. And that's the power of segregation of duties. Taking the example of AP, let's see. So one person receives the invoice and enters them in the system. A separate person will authorize those invoices for payment, will approve and say, we can pay them now. And then the third person will do the reconciliation. Let's walk through a design of internal controls in AP. First step, we'll have to identify the risk. What is the risk here? Manual entry of the invoices, it's always risky because there's human error. And for example, we can find duplicate entries, we can find wrong accounts, or we can find incorrect vendor name, and so forth. So now we have the risk, and now we have to think through and design the control. Here, prevention is the key. For example, in my team, in the past, we had 2 people who entered the invoices, and at the end of the day, they swapped their batches and checked each other's work. It was very simple, very cost effective, because it took them like maybe 30 minutes each, and it made month ends so smooth. Third step is to monitor the internal control if it's actually working. In this case, a senior accountant will run a weekly error report to check for any discrepancies, or they will do the reconciliation of the account at the month end. And it will be a high-level review, not as a prevention where you check every invoice entry, but here you just look at the accounts, at what did we expect from this vendor, and so forth. Even with best controls, we still need to monitor them to catch everything that prevention misses. When you're designing internal control, just keep this in mind. It should be effective, actually catch the error and detect the error, and it should be efficient. Don't overcomplicate it. Just make sure the cost and benefits are in balance. I believe AI will take over the invoice entry portion in the AP process, and will be a good thing because it will eliminate the human error. Well, maybe not as good for the people who enter the invoices, but will eliminate the human error and will give accountants more time to analyze rather than detect or prevent. If you ever helped build or improve internal controls, you should really document it and put it on your resume, because it's a high-value skill that shows that you have leadership skills and that you have insights into the process. I would like to hear an example of your internal controls if you ever designed or improved them. Drop them in the comments below and I will read them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.